What up, Scoobs? Dre here.
Alex here.
And it's Star Wars weekend. You know that's right. So today we're doing our big review for Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Yes, we just saw it, and I thought it was amazing. I was smiling the whole time. Like, my jaw was gaping. There were so many plot twists. I overall loved it.
Okay, overall, I would say I liked didn't love. We're going to get into spoilers a little later, but just first, we'll give you our general thoughts and feelings. I almost felt as though this movie similarly had the same problem that the first Avengers movie had, where it's like, I absolutely love The Force Awakens, but to be fair, I get it. That's the first one after so many years. We had to wait for it, and then out of the bang, I feel like that movie did so many things differently that we never saw. We saw in the Star Wars universe a female and a black lead characters in the film. Then you also threw in things like continuing the storyline of the Skywalkers after all this time, and Kylo Ren, and finding out what happened to Han and Chewie and Leia and all those relationships. Luke disappearing. There was a lot of things that I feel as though set up very nicely in that one. Whereas, almost like Age of Ultron with The Last Jedi, I liked it. But overall, I feel as though it might have had like a lot of story problems. It was a little bloated, much like Age of Ultron. There are probably one too many characters in the movie.
What?
And I feel as though
Every character was necessary.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
And each one connected for the plot. Like, they all had very important roles.
Including Benicio del Toro's. Oh, you know what? I think we're about to get a little more detail right now. So we're going to throw up that spoiler alert.
The Codemaster?
Spoilers. All right, here we go.
The Codemaster.
Yeah, the Codebreaker.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a point in the movie where they do a whole side mission where that's a problem. Like, the first half of the movie, the rebels are stuck under their force field and can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Then I feel slow, like they're like, okay, let's have a separate side mission. Where
they had to do the side mission to get the Codebreaker.
But here's the thing. They do the side mission. They find Benicio del Toro. They bring him back to the ship. He double-crossed them. Basically...
a plot twist.
But hold on. Basically, when you're writing a screenplay, you should never have your characters do something that doesn't pay off in the end.
Because it was pointless.
It was pointless.
Yeah.
That is 40 minutes of the movie from their plan where Poe Dameron's like, we're going to sneak behind Laura Linney's back. Like,
I think the big point of that was to build the relationship between Finn and Rose, because when you saw towards the end of the movie, when Rey sees Finn with Rose, she's like looks a little confused, and I think that was trying to build up, like, you know, the relationship, this like little.
So you mean we had to spend 40 minutes to set up a CW style love triangle?
Also a very entertaining 40 minutes to set up the love triangle.
Okay, all right. Well, let me, because you said.
And also, it was just fun. Like, it was a fun mission.
I guess the first movie, I feel as though J.J. Abrams set up a number of things that you expected to be paid off in this one. You expected to know who Rey's parents were.
Oh, I was so mad that we didn't get to find out about her parents. Like, when Kylo Ren was like, you've always known, haven't you? I was like, this is when we're gonna find out. And then he's like, oh, they just suck. They just were drunks that dumped you.
They were pretty much addicts who like sold you for another fix of smack.
I was like waiting to find out that they were like super evil.
Or like it's powerful, like the ancient ways of the Force or something. It's something. Well, I thought when there's a part where she's like having like this dark Force vision, and she's in like this evil cave, and she's walking up to this reflection, but it's kind of blurry.
And then the reflection is her.
It's her.
Okay.
Now, how cool would it have been if she had walked up and it was like a Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi? You would have been like, ah!
I will say that was frustrating, but also it could be that Kylo Ren was just saying that to make her feel like nothing, and then in the next movie, we're gonna find out that her parents are people. Maybe they're just not ready to reveal it to us yet.
Same problem with the parents that I had with Snoke. That was J.J. Abrams clearly set that up in the first movie, that Snoke was this ancient evil. He had like this big secret that we're going to find out about him. In this one, he's just generic bad guy who gets killed halfway through the movie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was really surprised that the lightsaber just killed him.
Right.
I didn't think it was gonna be that easy. Like,
I thought he would sense it.
But it was awesome. Like, I was really excited. That was a crazy twist.
That was a twist.
Yeah.
And after that scene, we're jumping around a little bit, but stay with us. You should only be watching this if you've seen the movie, so you know the scenes we were talking about then. In that scene when he kills Snoke. All right. Now, again, the reason why I said, like, I liked it even with the problems I had with it, because this movie still had things in it that were genuine goosebump moments.
Yeah.
That scene where he kills Snoke, and then him and Rey are back to back, like...
I swear to God, I was in the theater like this. The entire time.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I was like stomping on the floor. Do you see it? Like, obviously the person next to me sees it.
Yeah. It's like, it was so cool to see, because we talked about this in like our trailer reviews and stuff. We're like, how cool to see like red and blue side by side.
I know, and also
they did it.
I kept saying like, oh my God, are they going to team up? Like, what's going to happen? And then they did, and I was so excited. But then Kylo Ren had to ruin it.
Instantly. Was like, nah. Although I do like that twist. I do like that he's like, look, just because I killed somebody bad doesn't mean I'm good.
I wanted them to like fall in love. I was like, they're going to fall in love. And Kylo Ren is going to come to the light.
See, I'm a little biased. I'm holding out hope for my man Finn. John Boyega.
Finn is with Rose now.
Finn was so, at the end of the movie, like, Finn's about to sacrifice himself, the global weapon of the Empire. Rose crashes into him to save his life with her speeder, and she, like, basically gives him this line where it's like, oh, we survived by saving the things that we love, and plants one on him. You can tell in Finn's eye, Rose is so in the friend zone, like, she kisses him, and Finn's face is like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. And then even at the end where he's like standing over Rose's bed, like taking care of her, he wasn't like holding her hand or like patting her head. It's more like, hang in there, buddy. You're going to be okay.
I think it was more like, oh, I didn't realize she felt that way about me. Where could this relationship go? And how do I...
At the beginning of the movie, where Finn is in his healing chamber, what's the first thing he says when he wakes up? Rey. No, that boy is sprung for Rey. She's all up in his head. I mean, come on. Like, what? It's like not being in love with Wonder Woman. Like, she's an awesome, super-powered being. Like, you're going to be in love with her. What else? I felt as though there were way too many toy commercials in this. From the Crystal Critters to the Porgs.
Are the Porgs that are like...
Yeah.
Sorry, it was a really bad impression of it.
I know what you meant. The hamster
They're
bird
so
things.
cute. I'm obsessed with them, and I will buy one of those toys.
That's
I want
why
to
they
stuff
made
one
them.
on my bed.
There were like kids behind us in the theaters, and like one of the kids is like, "Oh my God, that's the cutest thing I ever saw." They're like, "They got your money, kid."
I support it because they were adorable. I am obsessed with Porgs now.
The caretakers, I feel like this is all just like money ploys that they threw in there.
Do.
I mean, I guess again, I don't want to make this sound like I didn't like the movie because I did like the movie. I'm just pointing out the issues I had.
I just can't believe how many like plot twists there were that had me going like. I just didn't think they were going to give me that much gratification.
I thought it was lazy plot twist. So, like, what stuck out to you?
Well, obviously, the Kylo Ren.
Killing Snoke?
Yes. Okay. Like, that, like, I just didn't think... I mean, I guess they were kind of lazy plot twists, because in my head, I didn't think they were ever going to give me that satisfaction.
Or have it happen that easily.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, I was like, I can't believe all of this is happening in one movie.
Right, yes. Like, I feel like they stuck, that's what I mean, like Age of Ultron. They put a lot in it.
It was a lot of instant gratification, but I enjoyed it.
Okay, yes, instant gratification. Where's the substance? Where's the long-lasting feelings after you pull that trigger? That's kind of how I felt about this.
But then even at the end... when Luke Skywalker was fighting Kylo Ren, and then we found out it was just him projecting himself.
All right, that was an awesome scene, and I'm glad you brought that up, because as I'm watching in the theater, I noticed that every time they're on this like salt planet, you guys have seen the movie, I don't need to describe it to you. When they're on the salt planet, and every time something moves, a speeder or somebody walks on the dirt, it turns red. In theaters, I remember saying, hey, wait a minute. Luke Skywalker's in living footprints. I thought it was just a continuity error. Yeah, when they have the reveal that he's just projecting himself hologram style, I'm like, in fact, really good attention to detail. Good on you, Rian Johnson.
Amazing.
It was really good.
Yeah, when he put the lightsaber through him.
Yeah.
When he stabbed him, I was just like...
But even in that scene where Luke is standing in front of like the entire fleet of Empire or First Order, the ships and AT-ATs, there's a Star Wars video game called The Force Unleashed, in which a character in that game pulls down a giant Death Star out of the sky. I thought Luke was gonna like do some awesome Master Jedi, like crush all the tanks and everything of his brain. Stuff like that. I feel as though I didn't. The payoff.
The purpose of it, though, was to show that Luke knows that his time is over, and he was just sacrificing himself so the others could get away and keep hope alive.
Yeah.
Now I'm going back a little bit. Okay. Another twist that I couldn't decide. Laura Dern's character.
Okay.
I was like,
the Admiral.
Yes, the Admiral. I was like, is she really just a coward? Like, why does she suck?
Okay.
Like that was very interesting to me, especially whenever Poe kind of did the mutiny and took over.
Yeah.
And then everything was going successfully, and then she kicked whatever that thing was, you know,
the gas vent.
The gas
thing?
vent, yeah,
Yeah.
on the ship, and kind of took over again. I was like, what are you doing? You're so dumb. Why are you doing this? Poe is right. But then it turned out that Poe wasn't right, and that the Admiral was actually very admirable.
Well done, Keller.
Thank you. When she turned the ship and went straight towards.
Now, how badass is that? Where there's a scene where the Admiral, like their fleet, like gets away on the safety shuttles, and like she sees them all being shot out of the sky, and I've never seen that in any sci-fi movie.
She straight kamikaze.
Using hyperdrive as a kamikaze bomb, just like literally ripping through the side of this First Order ship. I was like, all right, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
It did have legitimate goosebump moments.
Yeah, and I liked, because I was kind of frustrated with her the whole time. I was like, oh, this lady is so annoying. Just listen to Poe.
And I'm glad that, like you said, I'm glad they didn't make Poe right, because you've seen, just pick any Schwarzenegger, Stallone, or Bruce Willis movie. Yeah. They're the rogue cop or Marine that's going against the rest of the service, and they're like, I'm the right.
She's like the wiser woman that has done this before, and it's like, just trust her. She knows what she's doing.
And you can see in Poe's eye, he learned a lesson of humility, where Leia explains the plan, and he's like, oh, maybe I don't need to be cowboy all the time, which comes back later, where Luke is about to sacrifice himself. Finn is now saying, we have to go out there and help him. Poe learned his lesson. He's like, no, he's doing this with a reason.
Development.
Character growth. Change. Yes. Problem is, I feel as though the things I loved about the first one, I didn't get in this one. I love the chemistry between Rey, Poe, and Finn in the first one. Probably my favorite thing, any scene with Rey and Finn together. They only meet at the end of the movie in this one. The core characters are separated. That bummed me out. I don't know. I thought they had a perfect two outs with Leia. Either there's a scene where her ship gets blown up and she gets sucked into space, but she uses the Force, which there were some people in my movie theater at the time complaining about that. But like, wait, that's not how you use the Force. All right. Even at the end, there were nerds complaining online right now about how like Luke is projecting himself and like how he can like sort of like be tangible, like he gives Leia a pair of dice and stuff. But I'm like, okay, stuff like that has never bothered me, because my understanding of the Force has always been to be one giant MacGuffin. Like, whatever you need to happen,
however you use it,
the Force can do it.
If you are a master of the Force,
that's it.
You can,
I've never been like, you can't do it with the Force. I figure you can do anything with the Force. If anything, it bothers me that they can't fly. Side note, but if you know why Jedi can't fly, leave that in the comments.
Great.
Since childhood, I've always wondered if they can move things and if Snoke
why
can
can't they fly with their bodies?
It doesn't make any sense. They should be like in the Matrix, pretty much. They should be able to do whatever Neo can.
He was levitating.
Levitate, but Jedis can't. Yeah, Yoda is levitated, but you can't
levitate
fly.
You know what?
Which doesn't make sense.
Speaking of Yoda, that
the Yoda scene
was so weird. I mean, like, it was, to me, it became like a very childish, whimsical part of the movie where, like, adult Alex is like,
I feel like there's a lot of kiddie parts in the film.
Like, I was like, oh, this is weird and kind of unnecessary, but like, child Alex would have been like, this is so cool.
Sure.
So I felt like that was really for like the kids.
I thought it was cool they brought back puppet Yoda instead of CG Yoda. And that there are little things like Yoda can summon lightning. So I like that they expanded on Jedi power, things we've never seen in movies before, like Luke projecting himself, Yoda calling down lightning and storm. It shows that, Jedis are still pretty powerful even in ghost form, which means that when Luke comes back, because he dies at the end of this one, I'm sure he'll still be able to interact in the third one.
Yoda just makes me giggle so much.
The Yoda?
Yes! It just makes me giggle. It's just like, yes, Luke, it's time. It's time for it to end. Like, he's just logical. He's
like the drunk old master.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, their books, have you ever read them?
Yeah. Not a good read. So we're going to start to wrap it up. Other issues I have with the movie was I did feel as though I felt like there were too many subplots in this. I feel like, again, it was like a sitcom that had like one too many characters. I honestly feel as though you could have rewrote everything that takes place on the casino planet. Finn and Rose did not need to go on a separate mission. That mission, like we said, doesn't actually play out to anything. Like, take Benicio's character out the movie. Like, the movie would have been no different. I don't know why he was even in there.
He was in there to be the code breaker.
But they could have easily said that they just needed to go to this planet to find some sort of, like, software
also,
to, like, break open
what
this
I thought
code.
was interesting, like, the whole thing where you had to find the red lapel thing.
Yeah.
And, like, it wasn't even that guy.
Well,
and
no, that was the guy,
well,
but they found another guy.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't help them. Yeah, I thought that was kind of pointless. Like, it should have either been him,
Right.
or I thought that eventually, like, whenever he was in the jail cell, and like he came out of the darkness, I thought there was gonna be like the correct he's the real code breaker.
I'm with you. It either should have been the real code breaker, or it should have been like a decoy, and he should have been like, I am the code breaker.
Exactly.
But they didn't do that. They just found some random guy.
I thought that was kind of confusing. I was like, oh, like I was waiting for the reveal where he was the master code breaker.
Me too. And I feel like the whole message where like the casino plan, I feel like Rian Johnson threw that in there because he's like, rich people are evil. And I'm like, I get it, especially in the current climate we live in. Unnecessary for the story.
Also, I think the point was, they sell to the light and the dark,
But I feel like they could have just found that out just looking up some computer files. They didn't need that character in it. I feel like that character just bloated the movie. Yeah. And only to like his weird tics and everything. I just feel like he was a badly written character. But
also I felt like they had to go to that island or planet to, see the little kids. Because at the end, then you have the kid showing that hope is alive.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of led up to being like, yes, there's future generations that will keep the resistance going.
Like when the little kid uses the force to grab his broom at the end.
I was whenever I saw that, I was like, wait, did that broom just bounce into his hand?
It took me a second.
Yeah, I was like, can you rewind the movie? I was like, did you see that? Because then towards the end, I was waiting. He was still holding the broom. I was like, is he going to do something with the broom? Like, are we going to see it? It was such a split second.
Yeah, it was very subtle.
Yeah, like you wouldn't know. Like you had to really be paying attention because I was like, am I missing something? Did that broom just jump right into his hand?
So it shows that there are other Force users out there.
There's other Jedis.
There's hope out there. I don't know. Just, again, as an old school fan, I think a lot of my brain is comparing this to The Empire Strikes Back, which was that's like the Super Bowl of sequels. When people say it's the blank of, they say it's the empire of this franchise, meaning that it's the second and it's the best. That movie left off with Han frozen in carbonite, Luke losing a hand, Leia on the run from the Empire, and what's the other thing? Darth Vader like triumphant in victory with Luke, I am your father. That movie you left, you're like, holy hell, what's happening next? This one, it didn't leave me with the feeling of, holy hell, what's going to happen next time?
That's true. It kind of... This one, it was like, all right, well, they gave me everything in this movie. Next, it's just going to be the resistance is growing stronger.
I remember thinking after the movie, ironically, this feels like the end of a trilogy, not the second installment of a trilogy.
Yeah, like when they were all sitting together and Princess Leia's like, we have all we need. It just kind of seemed like, and everything's been wrapped up perfectly.
Right?
You could have, ended the trilogy.
You could end the trilogy like that, with like them on the ship saying, hope's alive, the little kid with the Force. And like, if that was the end of the next movie, I would have been like, that's a satisfying ending.
That's true.
Hope lives on. But this one, I'm like, well, where you go from here and where you go is very exciting.
Where we go from here is that the Republic rises and the First Order is taken out.
But even with that, I feel as though we had a whole trilogy in the prequels, terrible, but still, where we saw the evil guys rising. I don't even know exactly what I wanted from this film. I just feel as though there was a lot that, again, J.J. Abrams set up in the first one. Rian Johnson came over for this one. I feel as though he got a lot of those notes and was like, I don't want to deal with any of this. I feel as though he made a decision as the writer of this movie to take away anything with Rey's lineage. Because he even said, he's like, I never really bought into the whole like royal blood thing. He's like, I think anybody can be special. So I think that's why he didn't do the parent thing.
That's corny.
The Snoke thing, he was like, again, after all these fan theories for the past 2 years, Rian Johnson was like, no, Snoke's just a generic bad guy. It's all about Kylo Ren's story. I guarantee you, because JJ's directing the next one, I think JJ is going to retcon Rian Johnson's retcons and being like, no, Snoke was important. Rey's parents were important. Well, I'm putting stuff in there that you're taking out.
I'm hoping that in the next one, Rey's parents will be like, we'll actually find out who they are and they're really important.
Me too.
They're not just like some drunks that left her.
Yeah, like I hated that reveal.
But I think that could just be Kylo Ren trying to get in her head.
I hope so. He's not a reliable source.
Yes.
So they say this in movies. You can trick the audience if the narrator isn't reliable. So hopefully he was lying to her.
I mean, we can at least agree that the visuals were amazing.
Now that's amazing. Everything I saw with my eye holes, I was like, I love all of this.
Yeah.
It looked beautiful. Like, again, seeing Luke with a lightsaber again. Seeing Rey she moves a bunch of boulders at the end, like full on force badass.
That was awesome.
All that stuff I love. It was just story beats and sort of the flow. Felt a little choppy in places. But again, overall, I'm still going to give this like a B. I still loved it overall. Well, like, not loved.
I would give it an A-.
Really? All right.
It just brought me a lot of joy.
It's
and
like
I know that like the instant gratification is like you should wait for the long haul.
Right.
But like
I want that big
I
payoff.
really enjoyed getting all the answers.
Which were non-answers, sort of.
Besides Rey's parents, but
And Snoke, him being just some dude.
okay. But just getting the resolution of seeing Kylo Ren kill Snoke.
Okay, that was nice.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're going to handle the Carrie Fisher thing. They could have written her out either when she got blown out of the shuttle thing and used the Force to get back inside, or when Laura Dern's character sacrifices herself with the kamikaze. Why didn't they just switch those characters? Because that would have made sense. You introduce Laura Dern, who's a new character. She takes over that role in the next movie, and Carrie Fisher bows out gracefully. It was weirdly written, I felt, in places.
Yeah.
So,
R.I.P.
Any final thoughts?
Carrie Fisher, we love you.
We love you, Carrie Fisher. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to give it an A-.
Okay.
Maybe I'm being generous, but I just like any movie that makes me smile that much and go like this.
Yeah.
Is a really good movie in my book.
And I feel as though we are a good sort of, sample of what's going on online right now. I feel like a lot of the fan base is split. A lot of people are like, that's not my Star Wars. And other people are saying, I like the fact that it wasn't sort of this Skywalker story. It's more becoming a story of anybody in the universe can be special. So it's just
Everyone's
split, I feel.
special.
Everyone's special, but sometimes who your parents are make you just a little bit more special.
That's true.
Right?
That's an actual real lesson.
That's a real lesson.
For life,
That's
okay?
a life
That's what
lesson.
they should be teaching kids. That's what you're going to have to deal with.
Well, thanks for checking out our review for Star Wars The Last Jedi. As always, make sure to hit that like. Make sure to hit that subscribe. Make sure to hit that bell so you see when we put up new episodes.
Yes, and comment. We love your comments.
Always.
Thank you so much for being so interactive with us. Like, you're why we do this.
Really, you give us the motivation, enthusiasm to keep shooting and to keep writing back to you guys. So please keep that coming. All right, until next time, I've been Andre.
And I'm Alex.
Stay groovy, Scoobies.